Welcome to my YouTube channel where I will be discussing the topic of breeding pigeons. Today, I want to share with you my personal approach to pigeon breeding, which is practical and effective. While there are many theories surrounding pigeon breeding, my goal is to provide you with information that will be of benefit to you as a fancier. Firstly, it is important to note that no method of breeding offers a guarantee of success. However, finding a breeding system that improves your chances of success is key. Secondly, it is important to have a clear vision of what you want to achieve with your pigeons. This could be short distance winners, national marathon winners, good-looking and tractable pigeons, etc. Lastly, keeping records of your breeding activities is vital as it will help you keep track of what you have done and the results of certain activities. If you have decided what you want to achieve with your pigeons, whether it's short, medium, or long distance, and at what level, club, federation, combine, or national, then your ambitions will dictate the type and quality of your stock pigeons. While it is possible to eventually achieve success with average pigeons, continuously using the basket to select your pigeons can take many years. In my opinion, it is better to start with stock pigeons from a proven source. I personally recommend starting with pigeons from a loft that is currently winning at the level you wish to compete at. I also suggest getting pigeons from a fancier that you like and trust, as they can provide a word or two of wisdom that can help towards your success. In addition, it's important to select pigeons that physically conform to your idea of beauty and athletic perfection. Your pigeons will take a lot of your time, so it's better to have pigeons that you admire and in which you have confidence will achieve your racing goals. Personally, I like to see a pedigree that shows performance. I prefer to see ancestors and immediate parents that have won races at federation level or higher. Additionally, I have a standard for the physical type of pigeon I am looking for. They must be pleasing on the eye and have the attributes I think are needed to win races. This is purely subjective, and I subconsciously use many criteria, but I am only aware of a few. When I look at a pigeon, it must look special and stand out from the other pigeons, full of vitality. I often pick up larger pigeons than I generally like as they often look more grand. I prefer medium-sized pigeons that are full of vitality, glowing with health, and are muscular. They should resemble a wrestler, a ball of flexible compact muscle that is perfectly balanced. The buoyancy of the pigeon is taken into account only if the pigeon is fit for racing. I like good, soft, silky feathering, and I like the keel to be shallow or medium depth. I like a step between the secondary and primary flights, and rich eyes reflecting the vitality of the pigeon, but do not follow any particular eye sign theory. In conclusion, pigeon breeding is a fascinating and rewarding hobby that requires dedication and patience. By following my personal approach, you can improve your chances of breeding successful racing pigeons. Thank you for watching, and I hope you found this information helpful. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel for more videos. What is today known as the widowhood system. The fanciers who discovered this method kept their secret to themselves, and for some time they dominated racing with their phenomenal results. Other fanciers, however, eventually discovered their secret, and since then the balance has been restored. Everyone stood an equal chance once again, with success depending upon the quality of the pigeon and the knowledge, experience and management of the fancier. There are no secrets in pigeon racing. The management and knowledge of the fancier and his experience alone will assist him. Fanciers who believe that they can make pigeons fly faster by giving them all sorts of secret medicines and drugs will inevitably be disappointed by their results. A pigeon can only achieve top performances when it is enjoying perfect health. It reaches top condition through exercise and correct feeding. There are two aspects of a pigeon's condition that influence the end result obtained. In the first place, there is the physical condition of the pigeon, which will determine whether it can do the distance, at the pace allowed by prevailing weather conditions. In the second place, its performance will be influenced by its mental condition. This will be the motive urging it to do that extra bit which will bring it just that fraction ahead of the other pigeon, or make it try that bit harder, in overnight races, to reach home in the twilight when other pigeons have decided to call it a day and have perched for the night. It sometimes happens that a pigeon's mental condition and will dominate its physical condition, but this will be the exception rather than the rule, since a pigeon's physical condition is usually the deciding factor in his performance. For this reason we shall first discuss the factors which influence the physical condition. Thereafter we can discuss the different racing systems which have a greater influence on the pigeon's mental condition, whilst also influencing his physical condition to a certain extent. The physical condition of a pigeon is influenced by feeding and exercise in the first instance, and is further qualified by hormones working in its body tissues. This hormone working begins when the pigeon is mated and has gone through the breeding cycle of laying eggs and rearing youngsters. It is further activated by the time of year, since the pigeon adapts itself to seasonal weather changes by throwing off its down feathers. Pigeons which have reared a round of youngsters will start molting and will cast their first flight when having sat about 10 days on their second round of eggs. Pigeons which have not been allowed to rear youngsters will cast their first flights much later, when nature instructs the glands to release the hormones that activate the molt. Experienced fanciers anxiously watch for signs of the fall of down feathers from their racers. This is not so much because the fall of the down feathers, in itself, is so important, but because it is a sign that the glands have released some hormones which will bring about the molt. It is an established fact that pigeons will only reach top form after they have cast their first flights. In other words, after the glands have been stimulated to release the hormones, which by their working, help to bring the pigeon into top condition. I have given this explanation to help you to understand how the racing system employed also influences the physical condition of the pigeon. Pigeons will reach top physical condition by feeding and exercise but will then still not race as well as expected. Yet, all of a sudden, a change will come over them and they will race exceptionally well for a few weeks. This is when the loft strikes form, a condition of super health and physical condition that comes and departs of its own accord. LTS arrival is welcomed by all fanciers but no fancier has yet succeeded in bringing this condition about when he wishes it. It usually occurs when the temperature of the loft rises and the happy balance of work and food is reached. The feeding of a racing team is very different from the feeding of stock pigeons, or pigeons during the off-season. With the racing team one should endeavor to balance the amount of food given against the amount of work done. What I mean here is that you cannot expect your pigeons to work for 2 hours a day, give them 2 or 3 training tosses per week, race them every week and expect them to do all this on 1 ounce of food per pigeon per day. When you work them hard, you must feed them accordingly. This is certainly the most difficult part of pigeon racing and is one aspect of the game which everyone struggles to master. The person who, by chance, strikes the happy medium between food and exercise usually cannot understand why others have problems. The person who feeds heavily usually tosses his birds quite a lot, to work the extra energy off, otherwise the birds would become heavy and fat. But even this does not help him to bring them into the right condition at the right time and therefore he also guesses when basketing day comes along. He sometimes succeeds, but in most cases the pigeons are either that little bit too heavy or just that little bit underweight. The fancier is not capable of working out exactly how much he must feed his birds or how much work they must get. He therefore works on a system of feeding and working, and hopes that he will strike the happy medium by chance. Fanciers who are overfeeding their birds usually are successful in the hard races since the birds can use that extra potential energy whilst fanciers who underfeed, succeed in the faster races, since excess weight becomes a burden. It is difficult to strike a happy medium but by study and experience one gradually evolves a system to which one's pigeons respond and by which one can achieve success. I have found that one should become acquainted with your pigeons individually and through daily inspections of their physical condition, learn to tell whether you should increase their food or give them more work, to get them into the desired condition on basketing day. For this purpose, I prefer to use the system of breaking them down by racing and feeding over the weekend and then gradually building them up towards basketing day again. If you handle your pigeons regularly, especially at night time, you will learn to feel what the condition of their muscles is. For this purpose, one takes the pigeon in one hand in the normal way and places the other hand in front with the thumb over the back and the 4 fingers next to the breastbone. By pressing these fingers slightly into the muscles you will feel a certain resistance and with practice will soon be able to tell whether the muscles are swollen with energy or flat and deflated. The best procedure is to handy the pigeon on basketing day and again after the race, when you should be able to feel the difference. The pigeons which have taken part in the race will have deflated muscles as a result of the work, whilst those which have not been raced will feel full and round like an inflated rubber tube. Jules Guillet of Belgium made me acquainted with his purifying mixture on his first visit to the Republic of SA a few years ago. This mixture consists of barley, rice,